Hello, welcome back to the WWE Marathon. We are on day 4, which means we are on Raw, episode 3. Opens up with Sean Mooney outside the Manhattan Center, and who pulls up but Repo Man in a tow truck, just like he left the show on the last week. But good news, because he is in a match tonight against Randy Savage. Randy Savage is not on commentary. Rob Bartlett still is. We can't win everything, but Bobby Heenan is on commentary, replacing Randy Savage. It's so good. And because Repo Man towed Rob Bartlett's truck, Rob Bartlett is actually playing a face color commentator for the match. So it's wonderful. We get the Randy Savage versus Repo Man match, which you would have thought they were building up for a pay-per-view in today's day with 12 pay-per-views, actually more now. It would have been a pay-per-view match, but instead it's the first match of the night. Really weird to go that way. Repo Man gets a little bit more credibility than you would think. Part of that's because they're starting to do their whole new generation with Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, starting to build up Shawn Michaels a little bit. Randy Savage is not part of that, but he's still higher on the pecking order than Repo Man is. So Repo Man ends up doing the J-O-B. After that, we've got Kamala versus the Brooklyn Brawler. Because this is pre-internet blowing up everything, nobody really knew that the Brooklyn Brawler was also Kim Chi. So the whole meta story of Kamala now attacking his handler isn't obvious to anybody. But Brooklyn Brawler always was a jobber, so the match really only exists to get Kamala over as a face. Slick comes and does a promo after the match saying that it's the fans that turned Kamala and all this weird, stupid stuff. But, it's a match. It's there. Then the rest of the show. This is a short episode because there's just not that much of a show to talk about. But the rest of the show is the biggest main event we've seen yet. I know with 3 weeks in, that's not saying a whole lot, but this is a huge match. Mr. Perfect versus Ric Flair. Loser leaves town. And it's a really good match. If you're not expecting good out of these two, then you don't know wrestling. But Ric Flair is wearing his red trunks, which does mean he's doing the job to the most beautiful suplex in the world, the Perfect Plex. The Fisherman's Suplex, where you hold on to the leg. It is one of the most beautiful finishing moves of all time, because it's not just about the impact. It's not about just pounding somebody into submission. It's about hitting them with a move that's quick, knocks the breath out of them, and traps their legs so that they can't kick out. It's a beautiful combination of power and trap that works so well for a man of finesse like Mr. Perfect. I love the move. This is a great match. Mr. Perfect had a little bit of color. Bobby Heenan was wonderful on commentary. It went almost the entire second half of the show. Now, this is still an hour-long show, so this means it almost went a half hour. But that's half the show. That's a really long match. And then there's no stupid crap after the end of the match like there have been on the past 2 episodes. They do a little bit of hype for the shows coming up on the weekend. They explain that Ric Flair is going to honor his commitments through the weekend, off TV. I guess he had been booked for some house shows or whatever. But after that, he's gone. At the time, they're still using Jim Tunney as the president, although not on TV. But Vince McMahon says that he's gotten word from Jim Tunney that Ric Flair will still honor those commitments. But after that, he's gone. And you don't see Ric Flair back on TV for years. I think it might even have been a whole decade. It was insane. And he went back to WCW. He stayed there until WCW died. So that was a long time. Not quite a decade, but close to it. But yeah, because it was just those 3 segments, we don't have a long show to talk about it today. But please go check it out. I'm going to pop the link down on the description so you can see the match. You can go right to the show. Y'all, I'm gonna pop some videos up here and here, subscription thing here. Hit like, tell your friends. Come back and see me tomorrow, where we're gonna watch next week's episode, the 5th week of Raw, And it's not going to take that long for us to get into when we got the In Your Houses people. It's going to be good. Thank you. As always, I'm the Tramp. Cheers.